What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for a little Saturday afternoon live stream. I have not had a live stream on the channel in weeks. April 13th. Holy smokes. It's been almost 4 weeks since the last live stream. That is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. So I just figured I'd pop on for just a little tiny bit. I'm not sure how long we'll go. Maybe like an hour, maybe less. I'm not sure how many people will pop in on a Saturday afternoon, but I haven't done one for a while due to a varying array of reasons. I was sick for a while and then just been generally busy for work. It took me a while to rebound back from the sickness to get back to normal and be able to actually talk for longer than 5 minutes without having a coughing fit in the middle of speaking. The recording videos a lot of fun. So we have a big week coming up this week, though. This coming Wednesday, which I'll probably do another live stream. I'll try to get it posted up early, is the 2-year birthday of the channel. Channel is 2 years old this upcoming week, which is absolutely wild and crazy when you really think about it, that I've been running this thing, running my mouth for 2 straight years now on the old YouTube machine. I need to go back and watch the first video again. Hey, Steve, what's up? You didn't go to Hilliard today? Did you go to Hilliard today? I thought about going to Hilliard today. There's a show today, a pretty larger-ish, mid-size show, I guess I'll say. But it's about a 2-hour drive from me, and I just woke up this morning and said, nah, I'm good. Good on that 2-hour drive. But yeah, we are 2 years old this week, or this upcoming week, I guess. Last night I was on Dakota's live stream and was looking back at the first video ever posted. And boy, was my thumbnail terrible. Mosaic basketball box breaks were the first videos that I posted. Like the first probably 10 or 12 videos, maybe 8, were all Mosaic basketball, either box breaks or I did a video on surface issues on Mosaic because Mosaic was really bad. Yeah, too far for me too, Steven. It wasn't a dial-up video, but it was pretty bad. My lighting situation was really bad. I had no idea what I was doing. It was pretty bad. I just kind of started this thing as a whim. And I remember setting the camera up. I didn't have a great tripod for it. I kept knocking it over. I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, Pac-Man makes this shit look easy. You're welcome, Curtis. Yeah, I had no illusions that what I started 2 years ago would be what it is today. I haven't had a show in like the last show I had was the Rated Rip show, actually. I got sick after that, and then there really hasn't been any. I'm debating if I want to go to the Ship Shawana show. I love that show, but it's on actual Memorial Day this time around. And if anyone's, I don't know how many people are actually familiar with Ship Shawana. Ship Shawana, the city, is in the middle of Amish country, and its claim to fame is the largest flea market in the Midwest. And if anyone knows anything about flea markets, Memorial Day is one of that, and Labor Day probably are the pinnacles of flea markets. And I don't know that I want to involve myself with Shipshewana, Indiana on Memorial Day during the flea market. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go to that show or not. Also, it being on Memorial Day actually makes it a little bit more trickier from a work situation. Usually I go Fridays after work and spend the night out there and then have the whole weekend. But yes, I might be skipping that show. I think the next big show that I'm targeting is I think it's the J&J Midwest Monster question mark in the Fishers, Indiana in mid-June, mid to late June. That's the next big show that I am eyeing up to attend. And then my obviously just normal local shows and stuff that I always go to, release as much as possible. Much as I possibly can. But I haven't been buying a whole ton lately. I know I did the mail day video the other day, but that was like 3 weeks worth of stuff, I think. Just those 2 cards and that comic book. I don't know. I've been very picky lately, and I don't really necessarily know why. I don't want to say I'm listless when it comes to what to buy. It's just nothing's grabbing me right now, and I really can't put my finger on why or what that is that's causing that. I think probably the smart plan, I haven't looked a ton into this on a sports card side of things, is probably football. Alfred, did you go to the Hilliard show today? Prices sucks with products currently. Well, there's no, I mean, I'm not a big wax guy anyways. I just look at singles for the most part. I've been selling a lot. I talked about it last night on Dakota's live stream. I've been working my way through that PSA sub that I got back. And I went to the post office this morning when I got up and dropped off, I think 9 packages, maybe 10 packages on that PSA return. I've sold 9 of the 20 cards, with 1 I'm waiting to be paid for on. I ran a bunch of eBay auctions on that. Most of them all got paid for. I'm waiting on 1 straggler. So I hope they pay. So that'll be 9 out of 10 cards sold on that. So essentially, I am almost back to even on that PSA sub. I'm a little bit under grading fees, and my cost entry into the cards wasn't really all that much because a lot of it was from wax I had previously ripped that was kind of already paid for. So my entry point into the cards that I sent in on that 20 card PSA order was not much. And I'm in negotiations currently on the Wolverine hologram to potentially move this. This would be a big one if that moves. So hopefully I could close a deal on this weekend. I think we have everything agreed to, just kind of waiting for that final, yeah, it's done type situation. So if that happens, that would be a big one. But yeah, still a few odds and ends of cards from that sub. There was a couple that were definitely going to be losses, but it should definitely be a profitable PSA sub. I don't know. Depending on what the Wolverine will really swing it one way or the other in regards to how well I do on that total submission. I haven't been to the Hilliard show in a long time. I went a year ago, right when shows opened back up again, and it was way too busy. I kind of wanted to go today, but the problem was, so 1, it's 2 hours away. My day job, I'm in the car a ton, and on Friday I was in the car for probably 5 or 6 hours, and then to then drive 4 hours round trip on your day off just kind of makes it feel like work. And then Monday, I actually have to drive to Dayton, Ohio, which is a 3-hour drive for me, and which I would have to drive right past where this show was. So it's just, I'm like, you know what? Let me just take a time out. If it's really good, it's a 2-day show. I could run down there tomorrow. We celebrated Mother's Day last night, so I have tomorrow free. But hey, what's up, Joel? What's up, Bush League? How did your Marvel 1990 set price lately? I saw some graded 98 cards on eBay for 15 to 30 bucks graded. Feels like a trap to invest in. 9 EMU, all the values tied up in PSA 10s. Anything in a non-PSA 10 is going to sell real cheap. Oh, there we go. Masty right there. Hilliard wasn't great. Monster boxes galore. Listening on the way back up. Well, I'm glad I didn't make the drive. I thought about it. I almost DM'd you on IG to see if you actually went or not. Yeah, Bush League gets it. Bush League was watching last night. M Perk, what is going on? 15 months waiting on a bulk sub. I noticed, I talked about this in the PSA reveal video. My second economy order, let me pull it up and look real quick here off screen. Really moving a lot slower than the previous ones have. It just went into grading a couple days ago, and they've had it for a month. So it's been there for exactly 4 weeks, and it just went into grading. And my previous submissions have all been about 5 weeks total. So I have a feeling this one's going to be a lot longer. And that was just a 10 card order, and that's all 90 MU. So we'll see how that one comes back. Hilliard's always been really hit or miss for me. That's the reason why I've never gone to that show very often. Hey, Gigi, man, what's up, buddy? I see some, I haven't dug in super deep yet, but it looks like the next set of golden stuff has some monster, absolutely monster PMGs in it. Yeah, most of the 90s stuff, it's all about the PSA 10. Whether it's a hologram or just a base card or an insert or, you know, whatever, it's all about the PSA 10. You got to remember, the 90s stuff was, for the most part, very, very, very heavily printed. So there's a lot of it out there. There's going to be a lot of PSA 9s of this stuff. And I've said even way back when, you know, almost 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago now, when I made that very first 90 MU video, that it was all going to be tied up in PSA 10s. Well, look, I'll pull it up real quick here. Give me a second. We do a little share screen here. I track this all the time. I think it's interesting. And once again, this is specifically talking 90 MU. This is GemRate's website. And you could track individual sets. So I have 90 Marvel Universe tracked on here. And this is how you could tell PSA is working through the backlog, because a lot of people sent 90 MU on bulk submissions right before they shut down in March and April. This is the total population count. Look at how this thing takes off since the end of March. It went from March 12th, there was 15K total cards graded. And now it's at 23,000 total cards graded. Just not even 60 days later, like 45 days later. They've added 7,000 cards to the population report of 90 MU. Now, that's not PSA 10s. That's across the board. And then the funny one is, as this takes off, this crashes. This is the gem rate percentage. It is all the way down to almost 29%. And you can see how it has just trended straight down. Back when gem rate first started tracking this in September, they were gemming at a 37%. And now they've moved through this backlog. It is all the way down to 29%, which is exactly what I was concerned about and cautioned people about sending this stuff in unless you were sure it was going to 10. And people will be getting back bloodbath submissions on this one. You can see this bottom green line here, and you can do this on any set that you want. It doesn't have to be Marvel cards. You can go and look at a sports card set, whatever. It's always interesting to track this stuff when a set really takes off. This dark green line here is total PSA 10s in population. And then there's a nice little chart down here that graphs it all. So you can see, actually just yesterday, it looks like a bunch got graded. PSA 10 population went from 6588 to 6625 in one day. So that's 50 cards, almost 50 cards in one day. And PSA 10 got added, but it went up 110 on the so someone had a pretty good sub there. But yeah, interesting data. I like digging into the gem rate population count data stuff. But I track this pretty closely on 90 MU just because it's interesting to me. But yeah, long answer to basically say, yes, PSA 10s is where the value's at on early 90s Marvel cards. Marvel Guy 234, saw you and Justin streaming earlier this morning. Yeah, I saw, what is it, a green 2013 Spider-Man got listed. I don't even know. What's the last green 2013 that sold? What is going on, Mr. Infuego? Yeah, I agree, Joel. There's a lot of times that I've talked about the Youngstown card show is really hit or miss for me. Sometimes I go down there and I'm like, why did I drive all the way down here? And other times, then I went a month ago, and I got a great deal on that Harper First Bowman Chrome Auto, the BGS 95 True Gem. And I would have never expected to find that card there for the price that I got it for. So my general consensus on shows is all it takes is one. All it takes is like one really good deal to be like, okay, cool, this was all worth it. And for me, going to the local show or local shows in a lot of cases is a good opportunity just to catch up with friends, more so than actually, if I find some cards, cool. But I have relationships with a lot of the dealers now, and know a lot of the people, like the regulars that go just sit and bullshit for 15, 20 minutes. So value boxes, lots of value boxes. How long until PSA opens up $25 submissions? I don't think we see PSA $25 submissions until probably summer. Yeah, I don't think we see that until the summer. I know I've been talking about this for 3 weeks now. I am hopefully, it's been rescheduled twice. I'm talking to Peter. That's spoilers. Most people guessed it. I'm having Peter from SGC on as a guest on Tuesday evening. Will not be live streamed. We're going to pre-record it. So if people have questions for Peter, let me know, and I'll try to work them in. I have a list of stuff going for things I'm going to ask him. I don't know when that'll post, if it'll go up first next day, Wednesday, or if I'll put it up later in the week. So I'm going to be talking to Peter from SGC later this week. It's been postponed twice. Once because I got sick, and then we were supposed to do it this week, and then he wasn't feeling great, so it's on for Tuesday evening. So hopefully it actually goes off this time. So what's up, 357? Yeah, still don't see sending cards in at $50 each on a lottery system. I would personally find 4 for 99 more appealing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be absolutely great. The lottery system these days, from my own personal experiences, it's really easy to get in. I think they've opened up more slots. And Perk says I've been on pace with your economy orders of my own and seeing the same slot. Okay, cool. So at least it's not just something weird with this order. I don't know. I'm trying to think what would have caused. I wonder if it's because they're letting more people in, if that's part of it, and that's why it's slowing down a little bit. Because I have heard a lot of people say, and like I said, from my own personal experiences, I think the last 3 that I've entered, I've got in no problem. So I am wondering if they're letting more people in to the lottery events. So they're getting more cards influx, which is kind of slowing things down a little bit. It's hard to complain too much because it's posted as a 90-day turnaround time. I just got spoiled, kept getting him back in 5 weeks. So, but I'm kind of out of cards right now. I mean, I'm sure I could dig something up, but I just don't have a ton of. I was never a big raw card buyer to begin with, and I just don't have a lot of stuff laying around that makes sense to send at $50 a card. Yeah, Angler, I definitely agree. Anytime PSA is the elephant in the room, anytime they do anything, especially with a price reduction, it's going to have major ripple effects on everybody, not just SGC. BGS is going to have to look at adjusting prices. CSG would probably have to look at adjusting. They're still the cheapest around bulk wise. And that's where the rubber really meets the road, especially for not necessarily the big 4, but these smaller graders. I saw some videos on rare grading. I don't even know what they are. Uh, and their price point is super high. And when these big companies that have economies of scale come back up and running and they lower their prices down, I don't know how these smaller companies compete if they're going to be trying to charge $30 to $40 a card, even $30 a card for a company most people have never heard of before. That's really not going to work. So what happens there then? Because they probably built their business around charging $20 to $30 a card. And I just don't know that there's going to be a lot of demand for the fly by night services or pop up graders, whatever you want to call them, when the other companies have downward pressure put on them pricing wise. Like Gloria says, PSA drops to 25, it's going to cause SGC to have to drop, which is going to cause BGS to have to drop, which is going to cause CSG have to drop. And can pick a random pop-up 3-letter grading company, can they afford to drop their prices lower like that? I don't know that they can. 255,000 for a raw green in 2013. Do you think this one goes higher or lower? That's probably correct, Joel. I haven't seen a lot of, which to be fair, I have not looked at how the new CSG slabs are selling. . 2020 football wax is a pretty good one to chase if you're going to play the wax game. I mean, I'm not much of a vintage guy, but I really don't think you can go wrong with investing in Willie Mays, assuming you're talking about Willie Mays. Yeah, you got to be a little careful there. But I don't think they'll ever have a backlog again. I really don't. I don't think that they will. I don't think they'll let that happen. They have the queuing systems in place now. They have a better idea what they can turn around. Now, Sentinel's in the same spot. My camera might be at a slightly different angle, or maybe it's just because it's daylight and there's more. Usually, it's like really dark back there, but this is the basement steps that go straight up. I'm probably just getting a lot more light through the back door than normal because I don't normally stream during the day. Set up at a mall show in PA as I'm listening to you. We got dealers dealing and listening to the live stream all at once. Tatum, Ja, and Embiid being asked about all day. Good show. Thanks for stealing wax. John, we'll skip down to John Williams super chat. Thanks for the super chat, John. What's the future of Josh Allen rookie values? It's just really going to come down to how he plays. He needs to get into the playoffs, preferably an AFC championship game, and preferably make it to a Super Bowl for him to really top out. But the Bills look really, really good. They are probably going to be the favorite in the AFC, but the AFC is absolutely loaded, and that's the scariest thing in regards to Allen. Yeah, Bazooka Tom, I think a lot of people are. I really do. There's only so much stuff you can churn through at $50 a card unless you just have a constant supply of raw cards, which I don't. I don't rip wax, and I'm always hesitant to buy raw, especially stuff that isn't like just being opened, just because I feel like so many people now are ingrained in the grade game, and I just don't have the patience to sit at a table and like meticulously look through a bunch of raw cards to see if they look clean or not. That's just never been my game. I'm good, Global. Yeah, I got thrown to the sidelines with the Rona for a little bit, but we are back and better than ever. What's the poster? That's Transformers, the movie poster from the 80s, from the cartoon. A little hidden back there behind the Razor Crest and Slave One. We got the tinfoil hat represented up there. Got the Elon Musk rookie from Yamwax back there. Got the little gift that JNN gave me, the Ozzy auto. We got a little Ricky Vaughn bobblehead right there. Got the D&D card box I saved. That's the 90 NU box with D&D packs in it. We got the HasLab Sentinel. Ty Lue autographed helmet that my boy Inglorious hooked me up with at the Atlanta show. And then a Tim Couch autographed mini helmet, and then my Marvel Wax stash down there, which is pretty low right now because I've been ripping a bunch of stuff. And then back there, we'll move Ricardo's comment here. I got a nice little D&D mini, big white dragon hiding down there. And then the bottom shelf, there's a big red dragon down there. You can't really see it. And then down on that shelf is a bunch of Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures that need to be assembled. Wife and I are actively looking for a new house right now, but that's been an absolute shit show. Sorry, just playing catch up Willie Mays Hayes. Buddy says he's selling CSG okay on eBay. That's good. I'd like to get one of their new slabs in hand. I should find something cheap just to send to them or whatever. Yeah, I kind of agree, Emperg. And I think they're starting to kind of also they want to test their limits a little bit. Like, okay, like we can handle this much and we're turning it around at around 5 weeks. Let's open the faucet up a little bit more and see kind of what happens. And remember, they're only 15 to 20% working on new orders coming in the door. So no, I didn't make the trip down today, Highlanders. I talked about it earlier. I had a very long day in the car yesterday for work, and the Columbus show is a 2-hour drive one way for me, so 4 hours round trip. And I have a very long day in the car on Monday for work. So I woke up this morning at 6 a.m., no alarm set. I looked at my watch, said 6, and I laid there and thought about it for a minute. And I'm like, okay, if I get up now, get in the shower, get breakfast, I could be down there when the show starts at 10. Excuse me. Said, rolled over, woke up. It was like 9:45 in the morning. And I said, well, guess the Columbus show's not happening. If I had good reports, which I already had reports that were mixed, that the show was really, really good, it's a 2-day show. I could have went down tomorrow. John with the second super chat says, think all these young gun NFL QBs have baked in prices that are now insane for few. I agree. I mean, most players in any sport have a bunch of baked in prices, but football seems to do it more so than anybody else. Now, I don't put a whole lot of stock into all the stupid political stuff, one side or the other. I don't really think it hurts it long term. Where's the Baker Bros stash? I got some Baker stuff laying around here. I still have got the booklet actually sitting right here. And I still have the flawless RPA. It's in the case back there. Yeah, I'm sure there's a really good angle there for like, picking up first Bowman guys and stuff like that. What is the range you can expect for graded comics that have some yellowing of the pages? You describe as PSA 8 to 9 condition. Boy, I am not good at judging raw comic book grades at all. When it comes to comic books, I buy already slabbed. I've never sent anything to CSG. So I just have no mental reference for what's what something might grade one way or the other. It's just not my style, not my game. We don't need to sell to buy, so we're lucky there. But it's just tricky. It's just hard to find something we even want to put an offer in on, let alone then once you actually find something you want to put an offer in on, playing that whole game. Have I seen the Marvel United game? Actually, yes, I have. I have the full Kickstarter upstairs. It came the other day. I have the complete line of Marvel United. It came in 2 massive boxes that just came probably in the last week or so. So I like Marvel Crisis Protocol. I haven't played it a ton, but I really like the game itself. I don't have any painted miniatures down here, but I have some assembled ones because a lot of times I assemble at the desk here. So like this is once again non-painted. Come on, autofocus. There we go. So Omega got some cobwebs on them. Jeez. A little Omega Red miniature there. But I got to prime and paint and get the cobwebs cleaned off of them, poor guy. But I like the MCP game, or I like the miniatures. Like I said, I haven't played the game a ton, so I can't give a lot of comment one way or the other on the gameplay. I know it's pretty simplistic in a skirmish game, but I like the way that the miniatures looked. There's Cable. Cool little Cable miniature. I hate assembling miniatures. I absolutely despise it. I cannot stand it. It's the only thing I don't like about MCP. And that's Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's a tabletop miniatures game. Yeah, the Ja versus Zion debate's always a fun one. Favorite NBA rookies from this year: Evan Mobley, obviously. I do like Herb Jones. I don't know that he's actually going to be like investable per se. I think Jalen Green is sneaky because people kind of forgot about him. I think Cade is actually going to be pretty good. Xenia is nice, but Xenia is a hike for me. The Xenia show is 3 hours for me. I've been down there once. I made the trip down, and I like my experience down there, but it is just a haul. I agree, Toy Story. I also agree with this. Shot cards. I was hoping Ryan from Card Collector 2 would put something on eventually, but I haven't seen it yet. I was never a Beast Wars guy. I have a friend of mine that was huge in the Beast Wars. Hey, what's up, Marvel Madness? Probably. I kind of talked about this in the video the other day. I'm not a Galaxy guy. Some of the cards do look kind of cool, but I have always been, when it comes to Star Wars stuff, I like the actor autos. Like I bought this months ago. The Ashley Eckstein, Ahsoka Tano. That's my preference when it comes to Star Wars stuff. The Lars Mikkelsen, Grand Admiral Thrawn. So when it comes to Star Wars stuff, actor autos are kind of what I go for on this stuff. I have no experience with magazines either. There's some I would really like. I would love a Wizard #1 and a couple other magazines. Nintendo Power. There's some Nintendo Power covers I would love to have in CGC slabs. So I'm not sure how much longer. I'm not going to go for very long today. Madness. So maybe next time. Oh, nice. Yeah, I hate sprues, man. I freaking cannot stand sprues. I got my snips right here. Hate those things. It's one of the reasons I never played Warhammer. It's one of the reasons why I like Star Wars Legion. I was a big I really like tabletop games. I played Star Wars Legion quite competitively pre-pandemic. Uh, I had really enjoyed painting those miniatures. I was very active in that community for a long time, and then when the pandemic set in, it kind of sucked the wind from my sails. I had won an event to get a ticket to what is it, nationals or whatever, for world championships in Chicago, and that was supposed to happen at Adepticon in March 2020. and I was all set to go. And that was like right when the pandemic started, and it got shut down, and it just kind of sucked the wind out of my sails from that game. Which is kind of sad. I really enjoyed playing it, but it was very time consuming, very, very time consuming. 2-3 hours to play a game. I've never been a big Michael Jordan guy. He stabbed me in the heart a lot of times as a Cavs fan. I would like to get like a PSA 9 Jordan Scoring Kings at some point in time. I have affinity for that card from childhood memories. But yeah, yeah, I've heard him say the same things, and I also agree with the same reasons. Ryan's just super busy. Yeah, I was always a big Transformers guy as a kid. As Ricardo says, hit the like button. I agree. Oh, I didn't realize Columbus and Dayton were the same today. Aha. Uh-huh. I'm not a big DC guy, HT Sports, so I can't like just throw out random issue numbers like I could if I was Marvel. Like I'm well versed in Spider-Man and Batman lore, or Superman and Batman lore, but I don't know, like, well versed is probably too strong of a statement. Like I know most of the DC characters and how they interact with each other, but I to speak on specific issues is I wouldn't even know where to begin. Kind of, Paul. You could kind of generally break it down like this, and your general description there is not terrible. I just generally follow the math. Whatever specific card I am considering grading, I just look at the comps in the various different grading companies, make a best guess on what I think it'll grade at, factor in turnaround time a little bit, and cost the grade, and send it off. Um, yeah, I listed it at 4,500. The Wolverine hologram. I knew that that was not a realistic price. I just listed it high to kind of see what offers rolled in. The only comp that is even close to it, because none have sold. There are no X-Men 92 hologram PSA 10 sales at all, period, full stop. The only reasonable comp I could find was a 93 series, or a series 3 Venom PSA 10 hologram sold recently for 2K. So I think that's probably a pretty fair value for it, is like 2 to 2.5. Thrones is a weird one. It got really screwed up from that last season. I have it. I never really got into it. I was more of a Magic guy back then. Is that the one at the like event center, Steven? That's not the mall one, right? I hope pretty crazy because I still have a lot of Luca. I don't know if they could actually beat the Suns. The Suns are freaking really good. Do I have any sports cards I'm looking to send in for grading anytime soon? Not really, because I didn't buy a lot of raw stuff to begin with when it comes to sports cards. And anything good that I had that I pulled when I ripped a lot of wax, like when the channel first started, um, has either already been graded or I just sold raw. Do I regularly listen to any collecting podcasts? So, podcast wise, the only sports card or memorabilia or whatever podcast that I listen to is Card Talk, on the podcast side of things specifically. Most of my card podcast listening, and I do listen to a lot of podcasts because I'm in the car a lot. Um, I listen to a lot of the Bill Simmons stuff and the Ringer stuff, both on the pop culture side. Like I like Midnight Boys. I like the Rewatchables. I like um, House of R. All the Simmons and Rosillo stuff. I like Verno and Kevin O'Connor. I listen to Hollinger and Duncan. I listen to Dunked On. What else do I listen to? I guess I could just go down my podcast feed real quick. Um, I like to watch. I listen to some Cavs specific podcasts. I like Jason Concepcion's podcast. I listen to MCCW podcasts. Then a bunch of D&D podcasts. I do not own any graded Magic the Gathering cards. I would love to own a nice Shivan Dragon. That was always my favorite card as a kid. That's always been on the back of a list, but it's like a very low priority item. But if I was going to get one, that would be the first one that I would go look for. I'm not a 90s guy, so chat might be able to help you out better than I can on that one. Should wear sunglasses. It's hard to wear sunglasses when you already have glasses. Yeah, 90M use on a little different level and everything else, though. Like I don't know that I would use a 90 MU comp on a 92 X-Men. What weekend is that, Steve? There was an event on Thursday. I got the email. Oh yeah, Zach Lowe's stuff. I love Zach Lowe's stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and buck the trend when it comes to position player stuff. You know, will some guys break out that, you know, weren't high priced or whatever? Sure. I'm sure there's money to be made on a couple wide receivers. The problem is what happens to all the other ones that you bought that most likely went down. I agree, Josh. The MCCW pods are really, really good. I love Mark Price as a kid. I don't know where it's at actually. Oh, it's hidden. Say I have a Mark Price. I have a little mini banner from his jersey retirement night at the Gund Arena back in the day. Yeah, most of my collectible content is not podcasts; it's YouTube channels. That's where I usually get most of my, you know, card and comic book chat is on YouTube. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins kind of forgotten about coming off the torn ACL. That Ravens seems kind of weird. Probably one of the young guys. I mean, any of the young AFC guys, Herbert, Burrow, Allen. Can't all up on the Dobbins RPA. Did you guys pull anything good this morning? I saw you guys ripping wax. In fact, I think you guys were ripping what, Marvel Series 3, were you? I need Spider-Man Metal to come out. It's not going to come out for a while. Spider-Man Metal, I need it in my life. Spider-Man Metal is going to be the next thing. There'll probably be something in between because God knows when it's actually going to come out. When Spider-Man Metal releases, it's going to be, I hate to even say this, but it's going to be pumped to the moon. It's all everyone's going to be talking about is Spider-Man Metal when it releases. Ooh, Venom Hall is nice. I have not discussed the Triple Logo Man getting pulled. I don't know that I have any real hot takes on it. It's a cool card. Would I like to own it? Sure. Do I think it's worth what it's going to go for? No. It sucks that Backyard Breaks were the ones that pull it. Like, that sucks. Wish it would have been somebody else that got to pull it. So do they have to give away? Was that pulled on actual whatnot? I didn't get the full details. So did like someone win a Lamborghini? How does this work? And how did they figure out who it went to since it's 3 different teams? I don't know how many slabs I own. I mean, this whole box Plus what's laying around on my desk. My desk is a disaster right now. I'm really torn on Watson, to be quite honest with you. Spidey Metal in June. I will believe it when I see it, Kent. I will believe it when I see it. No, Beginnings got pushed back further. I don't think we're getting Beginnings until the end of the year. I think they said late 2022 for Marvel Beginnings. I just don't have a lot of reaction to it. It's just kind of like whatever. I do not currently mess. I do not currently own any MTG cards unless I have a random box hidden in a closet somewhere with a bunch of random stuff that's not worth anything. I was big into Magic in middle school, which was like third edition or revised. I'm sorry, revised. I came in the Magic the Gathering during revised. Didn't take it seriously. I was just a kid playing, but I really enjoyed playing it. Fell off my radar. Got back into it in my sophomore year of college and got into it hard in college. Played a lot. Went to like states. Played local tournaments all the time. Fell off of it. Fell back into it. That was kind of like in and out of college years. Ran up massive credit card debt in college, chasing Magic cards. Massive credit card debt. For the time, anyway. It's really not a big number now, but for a 20-year-old kid in college, it was pretty pricey. And then recently, I come and go with MTG Arena. There's times where I play it extremely hardcore, and then I'll kind of dip out of it for 6 months and then dip back into it. That's how I get my Magic fix. It is split. Okay. Are they selling it on Golden, or do they have a private deal lined up? $2 million a piece. Do they get the Lamborghini? Yeah, I didn't really get too caught up in that whole chase for the triple logo, man. Oh, the breakers get the Lambo. Okay. I wasn't sure how that all worked. I'm sure. I can only imagine the tinfoil hat brigade is probably going ham on this one. No offense to Michael Ham, but I can already see the whispers of, oh yeah, of course, the big whatnot promotion gets the triple logo man. Well, I forgot that was coming out. General thoughts on the baseball card market so far this season. I haven't researched prices a ton. That'll be on my list of things to do tonight for tomorrow's video. I haven't looked at anything for tomorrow's video yet. I'll probably do that during Grizzlies Warriors. It's just been kind of whatever. Wander Franco's been playing extremely well, but a lot of the other kids haven't. Julio Rodriguez is starting to come on a little bit now, I think. Soto's off to a really weird start because they're basically just pitching around him because that team sucks. To be back pretty soon. I saw what Acuna hit his first home run last night. Was that last night? Yeah, it's the dumbest shit ever. I think I had a 10K limit at 19. It was stupid. I did stupid things with it. But to be fair, I learned a lot of lessons on that. Like, it sucked at the time, but I learned some good life lessons from that whole experience. So it probably ended up being worth going through all that bullshit. Yeah, I think I probably had like 5K in credit card debt, which I know doesn't sound like a ton. For some people, that's probably sounds like a lot. For some people, that's probably like, are you kidding? That's nothing. But that's 5K credit card debt at 18 and a half, 19 years old, going to college full time, working two part-time jobs, um, and not really understanding what he got himself into. And it took me probably 3 or 4 years to get that all paid off. But like I said, I had a valuable lesson from that going forward. I still to this day remember going through that, even though it was 20 years ago. And since I paid off that credit card, I have never carried, and that was legitimately 20 years ago. That'd have been early 2000s. Um, I have never carried a balance on a credit card from 1 month to the next since I paid that credit card off. So I paid the price early, but learned, in my opinion, a very valuable life lesson. So I do not like having debt at all. I hate it. I can't stand it. So we're in a pretty good place right now, life wise, when it comes to that sort of stuff. But yeah, ever since I ran up that credit card debt, I never, ever, ever have carried a balance on anything since then. Other than like, student loans, sure, car payment, yes, house payment, yes, but like just general, like, I have an Amazon Visa card that I use for pretty much everything to get the points. That sucker gets paid off the day the statement posts every month. I can't tell you the last time. It's literally been 20 years since I paid interest on a credit card. What's up, everybody? Yeah, that's the other thing that's kind of going on right now. Baseball itself is just kind of a mess. I don't know what the hell they did to the baseball this year, but it sucks. Um, and they need to figure it out. I don't know what they were thinking with this. I couldn't even tell you a single horse in the Derby. Yeah, I heard there was like some weirdness with him falling. Um, I have an alt account, but I don't bid on anything there. I never linked my bank account. I have purchased stuff from PWCC weekly auctions. It's so hard for me to have the time to sit there and dig into the PWCC weekly auctions for deals. I know there's deals to be had there, but it's very time consuming to go through all that stuff. Best place to get 10 short boxes of comics looked at for possible sale. Boy, you'd probably either have to do the homework and look them up on like a 130 point or eBay sold listings. You could try taking them to a local comic shop. I'm not sure what level of success you'll have there. Probably about 2 months. I think over the summer. Yeah, he was struggling with the stick. He's definitely fast. I saw he hit his first home run the other day too. Tatis is fun. Tatis is really fun. I'm a big fan of El Nino. I've been actually been glancing at his first Bowman autos in like a PSA 9. They're fairly reasonably priced. Most of my energy, and I think I kind of talked about this on the mail day video recently. Um, I've been digging more and more into the comic book side recently. Just trying to figure out kind of what I want to go for next on that side. I've picked up 3 books so far this year. Kind of like to grab something like maybe once a month. Um, Prices are starting to slowly come down on stuff, but for the most part, the comic book market moves at a in some hands, much slower, and in some hands, faster than sports cards. Uh, but it takes a long time, it seems like, for prices to slide on that stuff, which is good. That's part of the reason why I like it. Not really. I mean, I don't have a ton of stuff listed on eBay right now or my slabs, just a handful of stuff. I have one of my Soto pinks listed. You know, I would potentially sell one of those. Um, and then I've been working through stuff that I get back on recent PSA submissions, but nothing too crazy. Wax prices have never made any sense to me. I don't even know who's in the Stanley Cup, to be honest with you, to give you a prediction. I don't follow hockey at all. Thoughts on Panini Redemptions? They suck. I'm glad I don't have any at Panini. I think redemptions in general are pretty terrible. Redemptions and not worn at any specific game or event are two of my biggest pet peeves in the hobby. I think everything's been kind of slow, Rob. To be fair. I noticed like on eBay, like a lot of my best offer buy it now stuff just sits. I basically have to run it at auction to get movement on it. I think it's just a matter, and sometimes it sells for the same price or slightly more than what I had it listed for at bin. I think it's just forcing people to have to make a decision on buying, is what it is. I did see it. I think it's still up, actually. Yeah, it's still there. I did notice that too. I have the money for it. It just trying to figure out what I want to do with soda stuff. If you want a pink, Steve, I have one of my pinks that I'm openly taking offers on. So DM me. I think the last comp's 1350. One just sold the other day. Yeah, shit like that moves fast on 99-cent auctions. You can move a player that's hot in the playoffs at the moment. Easy. Easy. I'm excited for that game tonight. That by far is the most entertaining playoff series, and it's not even close. Not even close. All right, I think we're going to wrap there. Went for about an hour. I kind of wanted to get the feet wet. Tomorrow, normal Sunday video. Not sure for Monday or Tuesday yet. Have the Peter interview next week from SGC. So he will be on the channel. That'll be pre-recorded. I am planning on a Wednesday night live stream. Smash the like button, by the way. Don't know the exact time yet. I will post it well in advance because that Wednesday is the 2-year birthday of the channel. We are 2 years old on Wednesday. And what a road it has been. X-Men probably has the most value out of anything because they haven't come to the MCU officially yet. To answer that one on the way out the door. Love X-Men keys. Plus, I'm a huge X-Men fan too. So, but yeah, smash the like button. Normal video tomorrow, weekly recap, and like I said, the big thing this week will be the live stream on Wednesday for the 2-year. So we'll catch you guys and girls later. Have a good Saturday, everybody. Peace.